Well, well. If it isn't the illustrious Mr. Zhongli, I am honored to welcome you to our fine establishment. What am I doing here indeed? Regrettably, not all of us live an existence that is, shall we say, freed of monetary shackles. And so, I've taken up a bit of work here, just to pay a few outstanding bills. Yes, well, unfortunately, a blacksmith's attentions don't come cheap. This isn't my usual line of work, but the shopkeeper had a bit of a family emergency, so I'll be the one filling in for him for today. So, for the time being, in the interest of being professional and adhering to the contract that I've signed for today, why don't we pretend that we aren't friends, and I'll give you the customer experience to which you are undoubtedly accustomed. We can talk more later. For now, what did you come in for? What can I do for you today, sir? I see. So you're interested in buying a new suit, sir? Well, sir, let me take a look through our records. Yes, I do believe that we have some measurements for you on file. But since these seem to be a few years old, I think we should err on the side of caution and take a whole new set of measurements for you today. Do you have time for that, sir? I would hate to impose on your schedule. I knew you would understand. People like you and I, we always have enough time. So, if I could invite you to the back of the store, right here. We have a few paper screens set aside for privacy here. And of course we know each other very well, but as a courtesy, do I have your permission to come close and touch you just a little bit? Wonderful. So, I'll need you to remove the coat that you're wearing now. You needn't remove your shirt if you don't feel comfortable doing so. That's entirely up to you. Now let me just get a length of measuring tape right here. Give me just one moment, please. I need to straighten this out a little. Again, this isn't my establishment, but despite the proprietor of the store being one of the very best tailors in Liyue, I'm afraid he isn't the most organized. I've had to clean up quite a bit while I've been working here. Pardon me just one moment, sir. I'll be with you very shortly. There we go, all straightened out. This is much better. So, let's begin. I'll need to take the measurements of your stately frame. I'd like to start with your neck, if you don't mind. Just to ensure that the collar of your shirt is tailored to your precise measurements. There we go. Not too tight, right? Good. Excellent. From here, we'll move on to the shoulders. This is just the owner's personal habit, but he takes 2 different shoulder measurements, as I'm sure you're familiar, being that you've had something tailored by him before. So, we'll just take the back measurement from your arm to your other arm. Excellent. And just for good measure, a second one, which is from the end of your collarbone to the other end. Very good, sir. Very attractive, broad shoulders. Not that it would be a problem if they weren't. We'll just work our way downwards from here, alright? So from here, I'll take the measurement of your arm, please. Very good. Best to write all of those down before I forget. From here, we'll take your wrist to elbow, please. Would you extend your arm out for me, please? I'd just like to take your wrist measurement for the sleeves. Very good. May I take the circumference of your elbow, please? Excellent. And, well, this isn't strictly necessary, but if by any chance you'd like a pair of gloves, such as the ones you usually wear, I'll also take the measurement of your hand, please. Wonderful. Next, if I could please ask you to stand as you would normally stand. There's no need to be overly stiff with your posture, as we want this suit to look good on you whether you're slouching or standing. But I know you very well. You never slouch. If you would just let me take the measurement of your chest. Quite the length we've got right here. And your waist, sir? Thank you. Rather narrow, no? Some people enjoy that a great deal. And, sir, if you would please allow me leave to approach your hips. I assure you, sir, I am treating you with the utmost respect. I would give that to any senior citizen of Liyue. Very good, sir, and if I might just take this right here. Good. Oh, excellent. Well, that all seems to be in order. tell you the truth. Everything looks more or less the same as it was, 15 years ago. And if I might add, sir, you don't look a day over 30. And if I may say so myself, sir, you have an enviable figure. Very well. If you'll just allow me to crouch right here, I will take the full length of your leg. Very impressive. The circumference of your thigh, please. Beautiful. Just to be sure we get a good fit, the circumference of your calf, please. Thank you. Beautiful. And, sir, if you would allow me to take your knee to your ankle. Excellent. I think that we had best take the length of your spine as well. Are you ticklish? I asked, are you ticklish, sir? I'll be more careful with your back then. And, sir, I know this is a little awkward, given the way we associate outside of this tailor's shop, but if you could just allow me to take your inseam, please. Fantastic. Now we do take a number of other, shall we say, non-traditional measurements, as I explained earlier today, and with which you are no doubt already familiar. So if I could just take the length of your waist to your knee. Beautiful. All right. And this one is a little unconventional, which I'll undoubtedly have to get a stepladder to take. I'd like to take the length of your neck all the way down to your ankle, please. This is essentially the full length of your frame. Beautiful. Shorter one right here, just your neck to your shoulder. Thank you. Your neck to your waist. And once again, the full width of your shoulder blades. Beautiful. Well then, that about does it for measurements. I will make a note of all these updates to your file, and in the meantime, sir, may I interest you in a complimentary drink? I'm afraid the owner does not keep osmanthus wine in the cellar, but we do have a beautiful red straight from Mondstadt. The Dawn Winery's finest. No, it isn't very traditional, but it is what all the other merchants in the city seem to be interested in. You'll accept the wine from Mondstadt, then? Give me just one moment, please. There you go, sir. I hope it meets your standards. Well then, why don't we talk shop? What sort of suit were you interested in buying today, sir? The one you've got on is already rather remarkable in every way. I see. So you need something for an even more formal occasion. Were you invited to some sort of wedding by any chance? Let's just say that I've heard some of the employees of the Wangsheng funeral parlor have been getting very chummy lately. Well, that does clarify some things. I suppose the real challenge here is how we'll make you look like just another guest and not the star of the show. When one looks the way that you do, it's very difficult not to overshadow anybody. In that case, I suppose that we should stay away from our more embroidered silk fabrics. But we could incorporate a few things here and there. A few embellishments of the sort that I know you're fond of. The dragons on your current coat are absolutely stunning, but I think we'll go with something a bit more understated for this event. A flower or a bird, perhaps? I know you like those. I'll leave it to the proprietor to decide exactly what kind of embellishment we'll give you, but in the meantime, why don't we sort through some fabrics and I'll ask you to choose the one you're most interested in. We should start with picking out the color of your shirt. If I know you as well as I think I do, you probably prefer a more starchy, stiff fabric. The kind of thing that holds up on its own, maintains its own structure, and most importantly, looks good in every situation. Would this rather sturdy length of white poplin suit your purposes, sir? I do think I have an eye for these kinds of things, so we'll go with that. Moving on to the color of the jacket and trousers. Oh, sir, I nearly forgot. Do you have an inkling of whether or not this will be a more traditional wedding, or will it have a more modern, relaxed atmosphere? Very good, very good. All right, then. Given the color of your skin, your eyes, and your hair, we could recommend you a suit of your customary brown, but I also think you would pull off a variety of other fun colors. You would look stunning in an emerald green or a luscious sapphire. I think a muted violet color would also be perfect on your frame. I wouldn't recommend velvet, especially if this is going to be an outdoors occasion. It isn't as though you'll have an attendant on hand to brush off every piece of dust and sand that clings to your lapels. If you'd like a more lightweight suit for this occasion, this green linen has caught my eye for some time, but I also think that you would pull off this navy twill. What do you think? Something dashing and bold? Or more neutral and reliable? Neutral and reliable it is, then. Very well. I do believe this suit will come out to, 460,000 more. Will you be paying immediately, sir, or in installments? By the accounts of the Wangsheng funeral parlor. Of course, sir, I understand. This is clearly a business expense. Right. So, if you could just sign here to complete our contract. Wonderful, sir. And were our services today satisfactory? If there is anything that you would like to call attention to, I will have it addressed immediately, sir. No? You're quite satisfied with our service? Wonderful. Seeing as we do not currently have other outstanding orders, I can see to it that this suit will be furnished to you within the next, 3 or 4 business days. Of course, sir. By then I'll be long gone, seeing as my employment here is only a temporary arrangement, but the usual proprietor will be back in the store to attend to your order. Now, is there anything else with which I can assist you? You'd like to know when I get off work? Let's see. I have about 2 more hours on the clock here, and then I'll collect my payment and be off to my usual adventuring business. If you'd like to join me, sir, your company would be most welcome. Very well, sir. I'll see you in 2 hours. It's a promise. And a promise is a form of contract. So I know you won't be late. I'll see you soon.